See if we can actually get something done today, huh? Welcome to Desolace. A little greener than you're expecting from a place called that, but that's okay. Sure, little Billy, as long as you remind me what that is.
I am listening.
Simply intolerable. Satyrs, of all things, desecrating our sacred lands. Their days are numbered, I can assure you of that. As soon as we have the numbers, I shall lead the charge that will rid the land of these wicked creatures. For now, though, perhaps you could put my mind at ease. Travel east of here to Sargeran and scour the ruins. Find the relics of Elune, ensure they're in good condition.
Farewell.
But you will. That's all I need to hear. I'm in a weird space. Technically, I feel better. But, like, I was coughing so much I kept waking myself up in the middle of the night. So I haven't barely been getting a lot of sleep. So, like, not much I can do about that, you know? Yes, good morning, everyone. Act, Loke, Kenix Cow, Ira, Blake Taval, Little Billy, Esmiristar, Rax. What are you doing here, Rax? You don't watch my streams. The markings in the ruins make one thing clear. There's something special about the old fountain in the Sanctuary of Elune. It would seem one could expect certain power from washing their face in the fountain, but then they need something in the fountain to wash. Pondering this problem, you spot melon fruit at the base of a nearby tree. I know that feeling, Rex. Entirely too well. Thank you, Little Billy, for the sub. As always. And I apologize if my voice sounds worse. Because coughing a lot really does a number in your throat. I know, weird. So, Kirby, block 1. Kirby, block 2. Kirby, block 3. Done. According to ancient legend, this ancient brazier was placed here for performing of sacrifices. And what little you remember of the stories, a blessing is bestowed upon the being who places the flesh of Elune's enemies on the brazier's burning embers. Well, okay. Let's go perform a blood sacrifice to Elune. Sounds like a thing that's real. The Handmaiden of Elune. It's even more glorious than the stories tell. The legends surrounding this relic come to your mind as you draw near it. In ancient time after battle, enemies' weapons were built to be cast in a basin in exchange for a divine gift of some sort. As you ponder this, your eyes catch the glint of a nearby weapon rack. Good morning, Fife. To my knowledge, the Mass Effect series, outside of, like, the thing I can't think of the name of, in-game lore book, doesn't really go into any detail on the Turian in general, really. Like, obviously we get tidbits of it from the Turian player party member, Garrus, but other than that, we don't really like get a deep dive in it. Good morning, Five. Yeah, exactly, as Mirror That's what I'm trying to say and failing at. Yeah, I suppose I was about to say, I think the Krogan are one of the only exceptions, and that's because we kind of have a rather direct connection with the Krogan. In all 3 games, even. Now, that's normal, isn't it? There's usually one race that's just fleshed out more than the other ones in sci-fi. And fantasy, for that matter. I mean, look at the game we're playing right now. Well, we have a fairly large amount of backstory for every race. Some of them just have way more than others. Compare night elves to humans, for example. Or orcs to, Taurans, I guess. Hell, going back to StarCraft for a minute. Think about the Terrans versus the Protoss and the Zerg. Well, the obvious answer there is I need to get out of this Hellfire. The obvious answer there is the elves of various types are probably a favorite. And the orcs would be the other big one, I would say. Just elves in general, if you were to group them into one category. Like, we have had so much fleshing out of the orcs. And we're not even done with that yet. We have an entire expansion coming up, which is going to go even further in depth into the orcs. Yeah, the Worgen were aliens, but now they're elves. Now they're Blue of Helix. Sorry, Blue of Helix, you're a Worgen. My bad. Try 3 at once, see if we can handle that. Let's try 4 at once. Nope, we're back down to 3. At some point, I'm going to have to ask all of my Trails people what they feel about the Trails remake. But for now, thank you very much, Will Felix. What do I think of the 10% stakehold from Sony? It's awful, terrible, and it's almost assuredly going to be a net negative to society as a whole, as well as culture, entertainment, and civilization. Do I think we can stop worrying? No. A lot of people forget that having total control over a company is not required to have control over a company. Let me show you just a fairly banal example of the kind of thing that tends to happen. 20 of these? 20 of these. Let's say I have a 3% stake in a company. Okay, cool. But I've decided to push something. So I go ahead and mention it during one of the major shareholder meetings. I say, hey, we should kill puppies every time that we put out a product. Now, I can either sell that idea. I can either try to be like, oh man, all the popular companies are doing this, or I can just mention it as a thing in which nobody's really going to push against it because it's just this tiny little thing on the side. People vote on it. Everyone kind of goes along with it because nobody's in particular opposition to it. And even though I actually have a minority, I have now guided the course of the company because the thing I posited has now been voted for. This kind of thing happens absolutely all the time. Now, if I have a majority, the same kind of thing tends to happen, but with a little bit more noise. If I have a majority, I say this is what we should do. And I'm willing to go ahead and push for this and blah, 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 blah. Majority still doesn't actually mean control. Literally, but majority can often lead to control because majority people tend to listen to whoever the majority stakeholder is. So, you get it. 10% is actually a huge chunk of a company to own. In fact, didn't they mention how much exactly that deal was? Wasn't it like 80 billion yen or something? I don't have to imagine that if it's Tencent instead, because Tencent already does exactly that with a lot of companies. I would also probably take Sony over Tencent, although both companies are pretty bad right now and have been for quite some time. NetEase Act? I was actually thinking literally last night, see you around, little Billy, about companies buying other companies. How it should honestly probably be illegal. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say because of how freaking common it is, but no, I stand by that. That should probably just be straight up illegal at this point in history. The amount of consolidation that we've been having in the last about 30, 40 years is actually unprecedented in our history. We've never had this level of conglomerating. And yeah, monopolies have always been bad. This is a very long-standing, proven fact. Here in the States, I forget if it's Kroger or Anderson's, it's one of the two, has been trying to procure the other. And the big thing they keep selling it with, big thing they keep saying, no, you should let us do this, is because they feel it's gonna lower prices. Just give us total control over like 40% of all groceries in the United States, and that'll make us lower prices. Because that's how monopolies work. Is monopolies lead to lower prices, right? We have an entire section of the government, of the United States federal government, designed to prevent trusts from happening. That is correct, Lord Harrimont. That would remove that option. I think I can accept that particular consequence. Okay. With that. Filling the washing bin with liquid from the melons, you proceed to wash your eyes from the ancient font. Upon opening your eyes, you are able to see the spirits of ancient elves, faithfully carrying out rituals of Loon. Interesting. That's true, so we need to make that illegal too, Lord Harrimont. And then, when someone decides to pull a technically and find a loophole, then we need to punish them for finding the loophole and then close the loop. Well, that's actually interesting you say that, Loke, because simply by saying that, you've proven to me that you don't understand what... hang on one second. Is it chapter 13? My brain's telling me it's chapter 13, but I could be wrong. Anyways, what bankruptcy means. When a company goes particularly bankrupt, what tends to happen... is it chapter 11? God, I don't remember. It's chapter something. Look, I can't even remember Garrus's name earlier, okay? Don't look at me. What tends to happen is the government then, essentially buys up... well, that's not true. The government takes ownership of the thing and then sells off their properties and their materials in order to pay off their debts in an auction. In other words, pretty much exactly what you just said, Logan. This is an interesting thing I'm doing here. I'm not going to question that. Yes, that is correct, Hira. That is something he plans to do. Yeah, but why would that matter? Well, we're sort of in the doldrums era right now. So that's why we're talking about polemic things and economics rather than the zone we're doing.
Greetings.
The relics are intact. That's something. You put my mind at ease. Please accept my gift to you. That's not the gift I was referencing, but I guess that qualifies.
Goodbye.
Alright, someone do me a favor. What's 1,000 divided by 5? And then I guess divided by 60.
Can I help you? For the Alliance.
Yeah, that's, the third. So 3 minutes and 20 seconds. No. Here's the real challenge. I gotta do it without coughing. Nope. Gotta do it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Hang on, let me actually check what you put in the storage really quick. Stranger of Paradise, FF14, Hatch Trail, and WoW, Hatch Within. Which would include the content that just came out this week. While I'm bowing, I have a question for you guys. It was posited on the comments that we scooch the... God, I can't talk. That we scooch the Dustwallow negatives to BC rather than Cataclysm. Any thoughts? And now the Turbo Bow. Oh, you know what I could do? I could pull up chat on my phone so I could still read chat while bowing. Hang on. Oh my god, why do you keep screwing with Twitch? Why do you keep screwing with yourself, Twitch? Okay. I pull up my own chat. There we go. Hey, okay. Hi, Melkor Blade. Well, see, the thing with Dustwallow is it's kind of a weird thing. Because, like, Dustwallow is a BC zone, right? 100%. But Kata quests literally lead to Dustwallow. I actually showed that. There are vector quests from the South Barrens to Dustwallow. And by the way, just picture that for a second. Just picture one of the best zones we've seen so far, right? Like a really, really, really great story. And it's like, oh my god, that's great. And then it's like, all right, go to Dustwallow. All right, then you go to friggin' Dustwallow. Which is, I think, like the 4th worst zone we've seen so far. Straight after, like, the 3rd best zone we've seen so far. Oh, God. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. The way leveling used to work in Kata, during Cataclysm, is you'd start off in Cataclysm. Yes, this is awesome. And then you go straight from Cataclysm to Hellfire Peninsula. And there really was no avoiding HFP. And, yeah. Yeah. It was awful. It was such an awful clunk. Yeah, this is the Enertron pose. If only that worked. Oh my god. Give me my Enertron, please. See, that's where we vary, Yura. I was already sick of the vanilla and BC experience in Wrath. I mean, I was sick of it in vanilla and BC, but the point is, by Wrath I had done it so many times, I was thoroughly tired of it. So when Kata came out, I was like, yes! And then it was like, alright, now go do BC, and I was like, no! No! Thank you very, very much, Valerian, as always. I do appreciate it. And yeah, Strangers of Paradise is probably getting a boosty with that. I'm not actually sure. Don't have the most up-to-date copy of the document on me, as absolutely strange as that sounds.
King's honor, friend.
Yeah, another extremely long game just got funded. Yay. I shouldn't be so negative. It's just, god damn it! We are a forward post, charged with monitoring potential adversaries. Once the Alliance launched its Desolace campaign, our work here is to ensure there's no surprises. Recently, one of my scouts was caught and sacrificed by the Burning Blade at their stronghold to the west. Since then, we've been assaulted with threats and taunts from a Burning Blade wretch named Kohor. Their days are numbered, but I'll pay handsomely for that one to be silenced now. I'll probably enjoy it, later of all, I hope. But god damn it.
You need something?
We might end up cheating to speed up some of the DLC stuff, because from what I understand, the DLC stuff can be really long and really grindy. So we might actually just throw up the cheat flag and be like, boop, assuming we can find cheats. I have no idea. We have received a plea for help from a researcher of the Cenarian Circle. We have no one we can spare to send, so I ask you pay her a visit on our
See you later.
I can do that. Hang on, what does this dwarf want?
How are you?
Greetings, friend. Have yourself a seat here. The first order of business is for the mage Cardinal. Noble of some sort in Stormwind. Seems his ship was attacked by sea giants all off the coast of Desolace. And his servants tried to bring one of the more valuable chests ashore. When sea giants attacked in droves, he chose to abandon it and teleport himself and his servants. So you could tell it's a fake rich person, because he saved his servants too.
Be good.
And by fake, I mean fictional. Oh, I said fake. Yeah, we'll play it by ear. I'll look into cheating. I know it's co-op. What I don't know is if it's cross-platform co-op. It is done. Captain Pentagast should be able to sleep in peace now that his threats have been silenced. With his dying breath, he mentioned summoning of a demon that could threaten the entire region. He may have been bluffing, but that's not a chance worth taking. This cannot wait for the alliance's invasion of Desolace to take shape. We must scour the fortress for clues and bring an end to this potential threat. I can do that. It is not cross-platform at all. That sucks. For like 25 burning blade ears? I mean, you've probably got a few months, Rax. The queue is already getting nice and full again. It's most fortuitous you took time to search for this. No one would have expected the Burning Blade to be in possession of something so powerful. The parchment... Oh, my God. The parchment you discovered in Thunderhack's fortress details a powerful summoning ritual. One stronger than the Burning Blade have been known to possess. Clearly this rite must be stopped at all costs. Maybe it was summoned prematurely. Let's just collect 100 bleached skulls, shall we? You want me to do what? I mean, the Burning Blade were in vanilla. Started off in Duratar, and they had a few other presences throughout, but they're always just a sidearm of the Shadow Council. Which, if we ever get to Felwood, I'll show off a little bit of, because I think that's still in Kata. I remember hating this area back in Vanilla. Just absolutely hating it. I mean, this is Desolace. Desolace sucked back in Vanilla. A slow slog through irritating mobs that respawned faster than you could kill them. And every quest here was like these ones, you know, get 25 of a drop item. And back then, they didn't have guaranteed drops, because that was Vanilla. Terrible quest. Of course, that was the point. I've mentioned this before, but it becomes more and more obvious The further into the zones you got in vanilla, how many zones were not designed to have quests at all. They were just designed to be like, oh, here's an area you can go hunt in. So that's all Thunder Axe Fortress was a place where you're supposed to run around and kill mobs in. You know, like you do back in EverQuest. Or Asheron's Call, or any of the other old ones. I sometimes wonder how long I would have stuck with WoW if it was just another EverQuest with a Warcraft skin on it. Like, I imagine it wouldn't be long, right? But I don't know. Like, I probably would have stuck with it for a bit. Hello, Dakota. I mostly bash EverQuest as a game. How long did I stick with FF11? The longest attempt I ever made at FF11 got to that one spot, which I've already forgotten, but the spot we figured out, which was like the first dungeon area. And we gave up there. So that is the longest I've ever stuck with FF11. There's seriously none out here. Of course there aren't. I mean, it was one session, yeah. I was just thinking in terms of progress. Could you guys, like, stop for 5 Okay, I get that you've got the name Burning Blade. You don't have to literally have daggers that are burning. Okay, we did. Listen, if there's one thing I've been told recently, it's that you have no right to criticize the past. I'm dead serious. That's a comment I got yesterday, actually. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Okay. Pop these. Oh, it wasn't in regards to this review. It was actually on my Star Trek stuff. I dared to speak negatively about TNG Season 1. For those of you in chat not super familiar with Star Trek, Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 is widely considered to be the worst season of Star Trek ever. Like, even by, you know, just common consensus. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's burn 100 skulls. Oh no, it's a Doom card. Really? This is a big threat. I mean, I know. Early summoning, but seriously, goodbye. TNG Season 1 has, I would say, like 2 episodes that are tolerable. And that's as good as Season 1 gets. Season 2 is an extremely mixed bag because 3 separate people were fighting over control of Star Trek as a franchise at that point in time. TNG Season 3 is officially when TNG gets good. But you know how that is, right? It's like Cataclysm. Cataclysm is when WoW started to get good. But Pandaria is when WoW was good. Distinction. Hey, buddy.
Well met.
Here, have some ears.
Bless you. Be careful. For the Alliance.
You diverted what could have been a serious crisis. If that summoning was delayed just a bit longer, the demon would have been far too powerful for our small force to contend with. Anything good? Actually, yes.
Light bless you.
That's dealt with. Next. To the coast. Yeah, no, I really like Night Elf animations in general. Night Elf female, specifically. Probably the best animation set in the game. Not counting Drakthir, haven't seen that. And Night Elf Druid is just very solid as a result.
What brings you here?
It is good that you've come. There's a grave danger looming here.
May the eternal...
I am all that remains of my company, sent to monitor the many dangers of this coast of Desolace. I've reported of the dramatic increase of Naga, but to no effect. My peers are focused on other crises, so I must ask you, a stranger, to assist me. First,
Walk with the Earth Mother. The winds guide you.
yeah, Simpsons is the same damn way, really. Frankly, so's Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, and... MLP is kind of a weird one, but the pattern still pretty much holds true, I would say, there. Nice island shoved up from the rocks there. I don't know if Stargate follows that pattern. SG-1, more specifically. Andor. If Andor Season 1 follows the typical pattern, then Andor Season 3 is going to be absolutely bonkers. But then again, I've noticed there are a few shows that don't actually follow that pattern at all. Justified would be another example of that. Or, I can't think of the other one I was going to say. Doesn't matter, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's actually part of the problem, as weird as that sounds. Greenlighting shows used to be a very, very, very different process than it is now. Like, everything under the hood has changed, right? In terms of television. So, a lot of shows will really polish and lead with their best foot because they have to. Because they quite literally are only getting one season, or only planning to get one season. Like, a lot of shows are just, here's your show, the end, right? As opposed to, here's 7 seasons of a show. So, what she's been saying during this trip is, the number of Nagas continue to rise steadily. The cataclysm split the land here, allowing the Naga to stretch inland. And there's a priestess of Ashara. Could she be leading their efforts? The water itself rises to fight them, but why? Many questions, few answers.
How may I aid you? Winds be
So
at
now you
your
see,
back.
these are not simple band of displaced Naga, but a well-organized army capable of great devastation. Do you agree to assist me in my investigation?
Ancestors watch over you.
Time and again, the Naga have proven to be enemies of the balance of nature, so I have no qualms with spilling of their blood. Yeah, they're acceptable targets, after all. Your best efforts, though, would be to put a dent into their forces here. Where one falls... I have a plan. Your objective is not to take the lives of the enemy, but to gather components.
Winds be at your back.
Okay. In the interim, you notice the chest does not seem to have any water damage. The second thing you notice is the top has been forced open, and whatever magical traps were set to safeguard it have long been triggered. This much is obvious from the burn marks around the edges. You take a few moments to figure out what pried the chest open. You notice along the side and the top of the chest, long, deep scratches that reveal something other than a man or a giant took interest in it. The marks don't appear as if they were caused by a dagger or a sword. After going through the chest, you find it to be completely empty. Alright. Sorry, buddy. Looks like this chest is out to sea. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Hello, Mr. Red. So believe it or not, this little side quest we're doing right here is actually MSQ. I'm not joking. I'm not sure why they decided to put this into Desolace, but hey, I'm with it. Make this sound a little bit more interesting, right? I could see that, Logue. The problem with the Naga is their relative lack of ability to coordinate. Like, I know that sounds like a strange statement, but really think about it. The Naga all serve Ashara, but past that, they get a little Sith. Which, by the way, if you're paying attention, is also the same thing that every other old god minion suffers the problem of. Wow, these guys are not dropping their fins. None of these have fins. This is episode 8 all over again. I just don't have Finn here. There's one Finn. I think the closest we've ever gotten is Najatar. We've got a couple of peeks at them, though, over the years. We see a little bit of what the Naga are capable of in Vashir. But what's interesting is that Vashir itself is kind of an example of how weak the Naga really are. Remember, they were actually losing that battle against the individuals they were fighting against. Let's dodge spoilers right now. Until they called in outside help. In Vashir, yeah. Range of that is so tiny. Oh, I completely disagree, Logue. The Naga have never indicated to me anything other than them being, at best, a dying empire. Like, a Doom Empire? No. Not even close. I look forward to being proven wrong in one of the upcoming expansions when the Naga are this big Doom Empire we can't possibly defeat. Now, could we base an entire expansion around the Naga? Abso-friggin-lutely. Frankly, I'm kind of shocked we haven't yet. I mean, Vashir is, just from a purely personal perspective, one of my favorite zones in all of WoW. It really bothers me how buggy that stupid zone is. And it always has been, too. Like, even if we somehow have a perfectly bug-free experience this playthrough, which we won't, I'm still gonna ding it, right? Like, I know those bugs are there. There's no way they've quashed all of them. Bashir has always been the realm of the bug. Yeah, that's another thing. The Naga consistently do better underwater than on land. Like, they're a hybrid unit, and in terms of stats, they don't really seem to matter or care. But in terms of actual gameplay, or, sorry, wrong word, lore, they always do better when they're actually in the water. Wow, this drop rate. Desolace earning its name here. This is stupid. Now, you know what would be cool to me? And I know I'm the only person in the world who thinks this, but whatever. So let's say we have a Naga expansion. And since N'Zoth is dead... Well, it's because they are, Logue. Just in terms of sheer math. The Myrmidon alone is a completely broken unit. So we have a Naga-focused expansion. Remember, N'Zoth is dead. So the source of their curse and corruption is gone. And we don't even know what's going on with Ashara. This would be a good expansion to find out what's going on with Ashara. So dig into that, right? Play around with the idea of, okay, now what? Like, do a now what expansion for the Naga. How do the Naga line up after that? How do they factionalize? Are there going to be friendly Naga? Are there going to be neutral Naga? Are most of them going to descend into infighting? Do any of them want to be cured of being Naga, right? There's a whole bunch of directions. A whole bunch of directions. You could take that. Hence why I say it's mostly a now what. Now what? Okay, we freed the Naga, now what? And that would be a good time to have your idea, Loke, of having like an elite force, a very militant group of Naga, who are not a Doom Empire, because that's silly, that's ridiculous, that's stupid, that's the worst, dumbest thing ever in the history of the known. Sorry, I got a little internet in my throat there. Okay, got it out, we're good. I do personally disagree that the Naga should be a Doom Empire. But I think the Naga, especially an elite force of Naga, a group of Naga that are coordinated and organized and actually want to express their power output, could be a threat. I realize I'm basically just repeating something from the current expansion with a different race, but I stand by it completely. I think that's doable. I imagine, this is just an asterisk-y, Night Elves loner. But, to answer Matt Overlord's question, I imagine if a cure was possible, which, who knows, it would turn them back into Night Elves. Oh my god, this drop rate! Negative to gameplay. What the hell is this? It might also make them into something other than Night Elves. We could have a new Night Elf race. Although, I'd rather not have that if I'm being totally honest. Because I want playable Naga. Thank you very much. Still, there's some possibilities. A lot of possibilities there. Well, it wouldn't make them into Nightborn in any sense. That makes no sense, I'm afraid. And you're dumb and you're stupid and you're... Okay, got the internet back out. Ooh, keeps getting in there for some reason. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, whether or not the Naga... How do I put this into words? There's two questions if you're writing a story about a Naga cure. One is it possible at all? And the second is, who would willingly accept it? That's exactly all that internet keeps getting sucking in there and sucking right down my throat. I know what I said. So I still don't fully agree, Logue. Hang on. Let's attempt a compromise, because you gave me an idea. Finally done with this stupid quest. Hang on, let's turn in the quest. Then back to the idea.
Ah, I've been expecting you.
You've done rather well, but I'm afraid your work here is just beginning.
Walk with the earth.
Really? You have war drop rates? I have fashioned a charm that will allow you to infiltrate the Naga, giving you the appearance of one of their own. With this disguise, you will speak and understand their language. They will be unable to discern your true identity, but beware. The sharks and other sea creatures will expose you for all to see.
Ancestors, watch over you.
I'm going to turn into a Naga here. Whee! I'm a Naga. Whoops. I'm a Naga again. Whee! Ladies and gentlemen, I give you playable Naga. Hi. Yeah, not really. So, hey, what's up? Don't just stand around when there's so much to be done. Must I instruct everyone on each detail? Neptilon's minions have arrived, and they're clearly doing all they can to thwart us. They've discovered our motives. This only confirms my suspicion that what we seek is indeed in these ruins. These water elementals are no match for our forces. Take this trident. Use it to destroy the worthless servants of the Tide Hunter. When we find what we seek here, Neptilon shall fear for his life. Well, the person who turned the Night Elves into Naga is dead. But that doesn't mean someone who was sufficiently talented and motivated couldn't replicate the curse if they wanted to. Okay, this is ridiculous. Ah! If I had to make Naga Horde or Alliance, then I would decide not to make Naga playable. I'm dead serious. Screw that noise. So hear me out, Loke. What if the Naga don't have a big Super Doom empire, because they've been ruined by literal millennia of essentially being Sith. But what they do have is a tremendous amount of knowledge and exploration of a really valuable resource, the ocean. And so while they don't really bring like this giant army, or they're not like, you know, people who can push around the other nations or anything like that, what they do have is a great amount of trade. And if they ever felt like being a dick, they could just retreat underwater, and, well, that would be a hassle to come after. Like, doable. I actually think the armies of Azeroth could fight the Naga if they wanted to. But, God, that'd be such a pain. Wouldn't it be easier to just, you know, barter with us instead? In other words, they would be a major political player, mainly because of their tremendous connections, contacts, resources, information, etc. The Confederate... Yes, I do remember the Confederates in struggle. That took me a second. I do like their swimming animation. The idea here is that the Naga are still a significant player without being Doom. Also, I would stand firm by my idea that there's not one Naga nation. That's insanity, to be quite honest with you. Especially post-N'Zoth and post-Ashara. So instead, there's probably, like, several Naga nations and powers and polities. And one of them is willing to deal with the surface. The enemy's ranks are thinning, little minnow. Perhaps you're worthy of assisting our search. Queen Ashara seeks entrance into the plane of water. For what, I do not know. I'll give you a hint. It's for a zone many, many levels from now, called Vashir. She believes that the ancients held the keys to finding its location. I have personally been charged with scouring the ruins, and none shall rest until we discover the secrets we seek. Submerged just to the north are a concentration of ruins. Use this staff to search the rubble. Well, a Doom Empire, for example, would be... Well, okay, this is a bad example, but the Burning Legion was a Doom Empire. The Burning Legion was a force that, frankly, Azeroth could not defeat. In Stellaris terms, a Doom Empire is like a Fallen Empire. You're not really supposed to be able to beat a Fallen Empire. At least not, you know, without... without hitting a certain level. And no, the Naga should actually be a pretty strong naval power. That would be interesting if that pushes Azeroth into more air development. They're already pretty much into that, right? Like they're already doing that. Yeah, the Army of Light would qualify as a Doom Empire, ironically. One second, please.
I have no idea, Jamal.
Less of a difficulty being above the ocean, I suppose. let's go to the side. Say hi, stream. Okay. Now, get you over here. Yeah, you know what? I can't. That way, you can be by your toilet if you okay? Because if you need to go potty, what do you do? What do you do? Wait, are you calling me fat, Magister? Of course, I had a really good luck initially. There we go. Ah. Neptulon's engravings, there can be no mistake. Your efforts have paid off. The great risks you've taken proven worthwhile. You've discovered the object of the Naga's desire, and the reason for overrunning the coast of Desolace. As for the engravings you've discovered, your duty is clear. Okay. That's apparently to swim very slowly back? That's strange. Whatever. So there's nothing, like, better or worse about being Naga. Not as of this point in history. I mean, sure, Naga can breathe underwater innately. And, you know, have trouble on land, but that's about it. But you can't tell me there wouldn't be Naga who wouldn't want to at least look into the concept of what would it be like to be a night elf again. Or for the first time, in some cases. That's the other thing. I say a cure, but it's kind of like what we talked about earlier with regards to curing the curse of flesh. I'm not sure cure is actually the right terminology there. Since, you know, if you're born a Naga, it's not like you're being cured into being a night elf, right?
You wish to speak? May the eternal sun...
You have single-handedly succeeded where others have failed. The Circle have no choice but to pay attention to these findings.
Winds be at your
You've
back.
done us a great service. While they remain an imposing force, your efforts have kept an important artifact from the Naga. I shall write to my peers of your findings. Meanwhile, the Water Revenant on Rajatar stood against a steady onslaught of Naga. I would have you find some way to determine if we can assist him.
Walk with the Earth Mother.
Sure, let's go talk to a water elemental. That should be fine. No, exactly, Luke. That's exactly the question. I can tell you're not listening to me because I already said that. Two things. Is a cure possible, and would anyone willingly accept it? I have witnessed your actions here, Night Elf. Your presence is both welcome and timely. I am Hydronus, servant of Neptulon, the Tide Hunter, lord of all waters. Ajara and her sinister Naga have arrayed themselves against my master and seek a war with him. This is the first battle in which there will be surely a long struggle. I have fought bitterly, Night Elf, and have grown weary. It seems my actions have attracted the attention of their priestess. Alone I haven't the strength to overcome her, but perhaps together we will prevail. Let's see what we can do then. Come here, priestess. I got something for you. It's the clamps! Okay, that was a little too easy. I'm just gonna let that go. Ah, vehicle quests. It is done. Together we are able to bring down a dangerous adversary. Neptulon himself shall hear of your exploits. Allow me to extend you his thanks. You should leave now. This place will not remain safe for long. Soon the Naga will seek vengeance for their priestess. Yeah, there are a bunch of jars wrapped around a bunch of water. It's more or less the same situation, Blade Taval. The original group of people were, you know, changed. And that was a very long time ago. So, at this point, you know, generations upon generations of people have been born, raised, and died as, you know, dwarves and humans and Naga.
How may I aid you?
Thanks.
Ancestors watch.
You've accomplished much in your short efforts here, but I fear it's not nearly enough. This is my official assessment of the Naga presence. I'm confident my peers in the Wildlands will take necessary action.
May the eternal
Also known as
sun
none.
shine upon thee.
We have no idea, Loke. There was Lady Vosh, until we killed her ass. But she did qualify for a bit there. We do know, and I hate to repeat this my point, that the Naga are very Sith.
You got my attention. Watch your back. Off with you.
Sure. Which means they tend to kill each other a lot. So who knows how many have survived, you know, themselves at this point. Excuse me. I don't remember how many of the vignette videos are actually in-game. That's something that isn't really relevant yet, so I haven't really looked into yet. I'm going to show off all the vignettes one way or the other. But only the ones that are in-game get to be reviewed. For those reasons. Well, it might not be quite without hope yet. Along that same coast to the north, near the Isle, there's Night Elf ruins at the bottom of the ocean. The tribe of Naga, the Slitherblade, make that their home. I think that'd be a nest bet. If a scouting party went that far south, they must have been pretty powerful. So, if you're going to find this... Going to find his belongings. Let's start with the more powerful Naga. Okay. That is possible. That's actually something I theorized for a long time, Loke, and have consistently been proven wrong about. But, yeah. Look, I'm just saying survival's legit. Or at least it was in Legion. I don't know if it is now. Drop rates. You know, Decata, I know you're not actually, when the game is truly, you know, has been good. I know this. I knew this walking in. But come on. You're better than Wrath. Do better than this. No. Okay, when I say do better, I don't mean continue to do badly. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, here we go. This is it. It's going to be the one that drops it. Here we go. This kill, right here. Here it is. Okay, next kill. This is gonna be it. This is it, right here. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be the kill. I mean, BC might as well be vanilla, or classic if you prefer. Just like Wrath. I know people disagree with me on that, and I don't care. Because I'm right. If anything, Kata is the in-between zone between modern design and old design. There it is. Jesus. I am still glad to be in Kata and not in Wrath or BC. To be clear, I shouldn't sound so negative, but it's like, God damn it, game. I know you can be better. Be better. I still haven't received any comments on YouTube about the idea of skipping some zones off camera.
What's on your mind? Watch your back. Off with you.
You're welcome. Ironically, Desolace is one of the zones I would have skipped. Let's see. Desolace, Tanarus, Ungoro. I don't think I'd skip Fellwood, but I would skip Winter Spring. Oh yeah, sorry, I should show this off. So, let's explain why this place is called Desolace for a second, okay? So, this is Desolace. See? Nice place. The reason it looks like this is because, long story short, an earth elemental was summoned here badly, and it yanked all the life out of the land. So it looks like this, and it's called Desolace. But as you might imagine, similar to some other zones of similar type, that's not the natural state of the land. It's just the state of the land that's been forced into it because all that life energy was ripped out of it. So, the Cenarian Circle has been doing their best to try and renovate it. That's why you see stuff like that over there. And they've got this giant chunk of terraforming, which they've been doing bit by bit throughout the zone, to try and convert it into something a little bit more like what it should look like. It's been slow going, but they've been working on this for a few years at this point. Whoop. Hit a branch. $85 hours? Jesus Christ. Oh. Hang on. That would put it as longer than any Dragon Age game to date. If it actually was 85 hours. One day, which was a few months ago, Drax, yeah.
Peace, friend. May the eternal sun...
This is alarming news indeed. Something we have no shortage of here. I shall call a council regarding the issue. You will be summoned if needed.
Walk with the earth, mother.
The winds of change are blowing. Of that there can be no doubt. There are many pressing issues vying for our attention. Chief amongst them is the spreading of our growing oasis. Its growth has surpassed our hopes as well as our understanding, but now it faces opposition. To the west, where grass meets sand, whirlwinds prevent its penetration into the desert. Go and eliminate this hostile obstacle to life.
Ancestors...
That's right, death to the wind! No, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Peace be with you.
The land is not all that's changed in Desolace. Here, the wildlife has responded to the new environment in strange and sometimes exciting ways. I'm particularly interested in the rejuvenated thunder lizards. I need a sample of their blood. Let's throw some leeches on them.
Goddess watch over you.
Okay.
Greetings. Asha Fela.
No one knows better than the Cenarian Circle that this lush oasis could dry up as quickly as it appeared. We must take care not to interfere with the process taking place, but to support and preserve. A new species of plant, very plentiful in the surrounding region, has appeared since the Great Change. Collect samples so we might learn what they have to teach us.
Go in peace. May the stars guide you.
With such an abrupt change to the ecology, it's expected that some of the flora and fauna don't react as well as we'd hope. The uprooted slashers are a troublesome example of this. Roaming the fields to the east and south, they are a detriment to the region and must be disposed of. While you're about, please deal with any of these pests you find.
Illume light your path.
I'm curious what the difficulty options actually do. But yeah, in any game of substantial length, I'm probably going to play it on easier. Because it's a substantially long game. Like, as much fun as it would be to spend an entire streaming session doing one encounter, I got other stuff to do with my life. friends have been playing through Baldur's Gate 3 on hardest difficulty. It's actually been quite fun. Weirdly enough. For those of you not aware, in Baldur's Gate 3, when you crank the difficulty all the way to max, they actually gain all new... Like, enemies gain new actions and new abilities that they didn't have before. Like, a lot of the legendary action stuff only shows up at whatever level of difficulty we're at. And let me tell you, fighting that one owlbear was horrifying. Because, spoilers, it wasn't one owlbear. Alright, let's throw some leeches at these people, shall we? Here you go, buddy. Have some leeches. Yeah, I agree that the backtracking problem early on is pretty bad. I prefer the original soundtrack most of the time, though. Oh my god, I really have to do this 10 times. Okay. Yeah, the problem with high difficulty in Baldur's Gate 3 is exactly what it sounds like. It takes forever to do anything. I'm not actually joking when I say we tend to do like just a couple of encounters per night. Well, actually, I'm mostly just in a hurry here, if I'm being 100% honest. I have lost so much time to just various interruptions and bullcrap, and currently being sick. I almost didn't stream today, because I almost was like, you know what, I'm just too tired. But the thought of skipping another day of productive time was just an anathema to me, so here I am, trying to push through Desolace. Yeah, pretty much Blade Duval. But for the purposes of a stream, that's terrible. So, yeah, I'll probably play Veilguard on easy, for the same reason I played Baldur's Gate 3 on easy. See, I don't have any drugs, Tuna Jenkins. I mean, I've got ibuprofen, which I just took 4 of. But that's all I got. I don't have access to all these high-fangled finagligans that y'all young'uns have. I can't just drug it up. Is there a game where easy mode takes longer than hard? Probably not. God damn it. God damn it. Come on. I feel like we ran into one game where things were going slower because we were on easy. Like, it was something about, like, we needed X amount of things and the drop rate was worse on easy. Something weird like that. I can't remember what game that was, though. That's true, Blade Duval. And by the same logic, Ninja Gaiden is a 16-minute game. Oh yeah, give me those horse tranquilizers. Ugh. They'll probably literally die. So that'd be nice. I think so, yeah, Loke. Where is he? Yeah, those guys over here. For those of you who didn't see these up close, well, here's me. And there's them. Remember, I'm a night elf. Night elves are big. They're basically Amazons. Okay. Lashers and Tallow. That's true, Lord Harrowmont. That's actually an interesting point. Nope. I'm going to take that. We have encountered one other player. Actually funny. Listen, balance is... I would agree, Lo. You know what's really fun is I'm almost positive part of the reason I'm having bad drops here is because there was another player doing this exact same quest. One other player. Hashtag other players. Now, that actually makes sense. For those of you not aware, there's a system in WoW, which is actually a good system. Here's the other player. What it does is it increases the spawn rate and drop rate, depending on how many players are in an area. And end statement, essentially. If you've ever heard of hyperspawning, that's what they're referring to. But hyperspawning is like the furthest extent of that. It adapts pretty dynamically to how many players are in a subzone. So, like, if there's 2 players there, the spawns actually go up, but very, very slightly. The reason I bring this up is if there's a whole bunch of players here, ironically, this would probably be easier. Right? Because then everything would be respawning so much faster.
What brings you here?
Have you collected the samples I require?
Go in peace.
If you find specimens, I shall commence studies immediately.
Alone light your path.
Ah, what a glorious time we live in. The former wastes of the Desolace are blooming, bursting with life. Imagine, Druid, if all of Azeroth's wastelands awoke in such a fashion. Maybe someday. Yeah, maybe Turador. It's true that there are weighty issues at hand, but I want to take a moment to appreciate this wondrous miracle. In fact, why not take part in it? Here's some Cenarian seeds. Use them at the more fertile spots in the wildlands. Perfect medicine for lifting a weary soul. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Elune be with you.
Were you able to recover the samples I require?
Goddess watch over you.
As you've now witnessed, the rapid changes this region can have positive and negative effects on native creatures. To the south and east of here, enraged Kodo are a constant threat to anybody nearby. Time to put my theory to the test. I've used the rejuvenating thunder lizard's blood in the making of a concoction. I'm hoping it will soothe the Kodo when they eat it.
May the stars guide you.
Right.
The winds guide you. We shall meet again.
Oh, let's see how this turns out. I've always assumed it was some kind of smuggling kind of a thing. Or like Paper Mario 2 is dark, but it's not that dark, you know what I mean? Yeah, it worked. I should probably pick these up just in case.
Yo!
Bibley thinks he's the only goblin in Desolace who knows how to make money. Heh. Well, the only caravan brave enough to travel these parts relies on me. Ever since I learned how to rejuvenate and control aged Kodos with my Kodo combobulator, that was a vanilla quest, the caravan owner, Rigger, and I have entered a partnership. Take the combobulator, use it on any aged or ancient Kodos. It'll jolt them into a tamed Kodo and force it to follow you.
Glad I could help.
You figured out a device to reverse aging. And you decided, okay. See if I can do more than one? Nope. Okay. Of course they're slow. Why would you have an escort that can move at mount speed? Don't be ridiculous. Oh yeah, Paper Mario 2 is E for everyone. No. No, Paper Mario 2 is a perfect example of people rating a game as childish because it's cartoony looking and has the paper aesthetic and is Mario. When I was doing the Paper Mario 2 theater, quite a few people who might have been interested in voice acting for it all declined because they weren't interested in voicing for a game, like for a Mario game, or for a game that was that childish, or for a game that just had no interest in them, or whatever. So it's pretty prevalent. Falsehood, I guess, is the only word I could use there. More enraged? I guess there's not. Alright, whatever. Come here. Be rejuvenated. Oh, I know. People just know. Plus, not everyone knows this, but the staff, the team that actually does those ratings, is put out by the game companies themselves. The ESRB isn't a governmental body in any sense of the word. At least here in the States. I don't know how that works in other countries.
What's up? Hurry back!
Alright, 3. Excellent. Ask for 3, I get 3. I'm gonna be rich. I hope to see the look on Bibley's face when he hears about my success.
Keep it real!
Yeah, no, like, they use really, really dumb, non-using your brain methods of rating games. It's one of the reasons they removed the gambling side stuff from the Pokemon games. It's because that was getting them a consistently higher rating than they wanted for the Pokemon games. Because they knew, and they were right, that stupid people, looking at you, bad parents, would look at a Pokemon game and say, oh my god, it's rated T for teen. No! Little Billy can't play that game. It's like, yeah, okay. Little Billy should be allowed to play whatever game he wants to, within reason. There's a lot of vultures roaming around the graveyard there. Well, yeah, then there's the opposite end of the spectrum, which is the parents who don't care in the other direction. Who don't even glance at the rating or the title or anything and just buy the game and like, here you go. And the metric they use to buying that game is so vague. Like, I've heard, this is actually true, I've heard of people, older people usually, who will buy games for kids because they've heard of them before, because they've heard the kid mention the game before, because the friend of theirs has talked about that game, you know, stuff like that. And all of that probably sounds reasonable, but then try to remember that this is a one-step process. Like, there's no additional looking into, right? Like, imagine just for a second that I had heard my eldest niece talk about, I don't know, Underverse. We'll go for the jugular on that. And so I, like an idiot, go buy Underverse for her without ever even looking into it, like without ever doing any kind of due diligence on that. Just, here you go. Here's the game I've heard of. Gunk. Why aren't you enjoying this game? Isn't this a game you like? What do you mean you were talking about how much this game sucks? I heard you talk about it. I had the benefit of growing up pretty young, which meant that I would look into games myself. Or I had the other benefit. I just realized I should say. So I had two benefits. First of all, growth. But second of all, I grew up in the age of the rental. Oh yeah, exactly, Savacom. I think I've mentioned a few hundred times. My mother has been very anti-video game for her whole life, really. Like, you know, the usual stuff. Nothing new to be said there. And she was right. I got sick this week because I was playing WoW. Kids, don't play video games. Go gambling instead, which is her preferred hobby. That's not a joke.
I am honored. Asha Fela. Ishnu Dardiep. Goddess watch over you.
Greetings.
I've heard your exploits here in Desolace. We are in your debt. I'm afraid I must involve you in yet another crisis, one more pressing than the rest. The landscape is not all that has changed here. Old conflicts have made way for new, more dire ones. I shall allow our guest to explain further. Khan Lepra is among the last of the Kolkar tribe that once possessed all of eastern Desolace. We've found him near death on our borders.
May the stars guide you.
Be not afraid, Night Elf. I mean you no harm. Ah, yeah. Soak up those vanilla textures. Ah, yeah. Just, oh, beautiful, beautiful. Began with a dream that repeatedly came to warn me of dangers to come. I saw the demonic legions bearing down upon our kind, overrunning our lands. The dream has become real. The Burning Blade and their demon masters have pushed the Magrum out of their lands in the south. In turn, the Magrum have defeated my people and taken over our homes. The fight was ferocious. Only a handful of the Kolkar still live. I would ask you visit what is left of my land and free those from their prisons.
Peace be with you.
Since the demons have invaded their lands, the Magrum have broken all ties with outsiders. They are untrusting and hostile and have taken to stealing instead of providing for themselves. It's called marauders. Many of our unneeded supplies have gone missing of late, and we suspect the Magrum are to blame.
Good luck, friend.
Well, let's go ahead and rob it back. And while we're here, here's the other goblin.
Yo!
We're sitting on a gold mine here. I tell you, a gold mine. Kodo bones will change the world forever. I have customers making furniture and music instruments and blasting powder. There's a caravan that comes by and picks up my Kodo bones and sells them at the Shadow Prey. If you travel to the Kodo graveyard and give me 10 Kodo bones, I'll give you something in return. Deal?
Be good!
Notice this quest gives no gold or items. Well, that's why it's... The way I like to think of it is, rather than hard lines, it's more like the gradient barrier, right? Like, there's obviously acceptable, there's obviously unacceptable, and there's a range in between those, right? It's a kind of a thing. That's the most technical, professional way I've ever described it. And yeah, it varies from person to person, and this is exactly why I use that phrase, due diligence. Like, what I really think people should do is use their frickin' heads, look into a situation and decide, okay, is this exact thing acceptable for this exact child now? And the answer varies. That's how that works. It's one of the only reasons why I don't completely dismiss the ESRB. I know that sounds weird because I just throw a lot of shade at it. But the idea there is that it's a decent first glance thing, right? It's like, okay. At a glance, is this something that's going to be acceptable? At least, that's how it probably should be. Again, as I've mentioned, the ESRB is the weirdest and dumbest restrictions. But you get the point. You get the point. Listen, Savacom, if you're into Star Trek, then you're automatically into Dungeons and Dragons. And let's see what else. You're a total dorkster. Obviously. I'm going to start buying you I can't do it. I'm too tired. I'm trying to think of all the cliches we had back in like the 80s and the 90s. There were a few. Oh man, my mother was livid when she found out I was playing D&D. Just livid. So then I kind of ran her through a session just to explain it to her. I'll give her credit for listening on that. She shut up about it for a while after that. Yeah, it could be worse. We could live in Australia. No offense to any of my Australian viewers, but man, your gaming board has issues. Well, yeah, it's the Doom thing all over again, right? How dare you kill demons. Wait, what? But that's the whole goal. And I mean, again, I talked about this during the Doom run. The whole narrative point of every Doom game, because yes, there is a narrative there, is that summoning demons is bad. I know that sounds simplistic, and that's because it kind of is, but it's true. Every single Doom game's core story starts with, I'm going to summon a demon, and then things go to hell from that point on. Literally, I guess. Like, huh. Who'da thunk? Sorry, I just find that really funny. See, unlike the Quake games, whose main theme is... There is no main theme to the Quake games. They have nothing to do with each other. No, see, you know what pisses me off? It's easy to understand where these people are coming from. Because... Hang on, I know what you're going to say. And you're like, ah, oh, Laura, you're dumb. And you're right, I am very dumb. But it's because it takes effort. It takes effort and time and resources in a world that is getting more and more and more anti-time and effort and resources. We have so few spoons left at the end of the day, right? After work and probably transit. Getting to and from work. I can't think of what that's called. Because I'm sick right now and tired. But commute. You get your commute, you got your work, you've got whatever's going on in your hobby. Assuming you even have a hobby, you've got your friends, you've got your family to help take care of. You gotta prep meals. You gotta deal with food. That's such an irritation. You gotta clean, and oh my god, you've been putting off that thing with the car. And then your kiddo shows up and is like, hey, can I play such and such? And you're just like, ugh, okay, sure, hang on. Glance. To be clear, I do think there's still some blame here. I'm not saying that they are blameless. A lot of people think that's binary for some reason. I'm just trying to say that I feel like it's a little bit more understandable when you really sit back and think about it. Oh, God, and then your body is like, hey, you should go to sleep. And I'm like, what? I'm not done with my stuff for the day, though. I got crap to do, body. The body's like, I don't care. You're going to bed, boy. And I'm like, but... And that's just the end of it, right? That's a good point. I need more coffee. That's going to be the solution. Oh, man. I cannot say anything about Roblox without getting legitimately angry because of how quietly, insidiously manipulative and predatory that game is. It's probably one of the most seemingly innocent, yet actually just as bad as every other MOBA out there games that exists. Very, very marketed for kids, young kids. Single-digit age children. Yeah, I had to have a sit and have a very calm and serious discussion with my eldest when her father decided to push her towards Roblox. I personally would rather she not play it at all, but I'm not going to put that kind of a foot down on her. As long as she is forewarned and foreknown, she should be fine. Like, I trust her. Roblox. R-O-B-L-O-X. If you haven't heard of it, congrats. You're older than 10. Sorry, I'm being a little facetious. It is... it's hard to even explain what it is, really, because it's kind of dumb. So... You know what Gary's Mod is? Because that's going to make this explanation a lot easier. No, of course you don't. Okay. Stab! Alright, Lord Harrimon's dead. Alright, we did it. I've explained Roblox. Although I love doing this quest as a druid. You probably haven't been noticing, but every time I loot one of these bones, the ghost of that creature gets up. And it's like, hey, stop stealing my bones. And I'm like, I'm a druid. Peace. And I'm out. I'm out. It's done. We're done. Half-Life 2, Blade Jamal.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, the bones. Caravan will be here any moment. I just need 10 more bones to reach a career high. Career high, I tell you.
Have a good one.
Ah, my bones. Can't wait till the chaps at home see my face on my front cover of Goblinpreneur. I'll be the richest goblin in the world, and my physical education teacher said I'd never amount to anything.
Keep it real.
Oh, that's relatable. Okay. Roblox is not a game. Rather, it is kind of like an interactive editor. So, you know, it's think Minecraft, but instead of, you know, running around building stuff, you run around and you build games. And I'm saying that extremely vaguely because that's exactly what Roblox is. That's why it is so goddamn insidious. It's bright and happy and silly. You can make whatever you want into it. And I do mean whatever you want into it. And that's more or less part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that in order to access the majority of the content properly on that, you have to buy Roblox, or whatever the hell they're called. Hang on. What are those stupid things called? Hang on. Robux, is that it? Hang on, what we got here? Yep, here we go. Robux. It's actually more insidious than that. To really explain Roblox, I'd probably have to refresh myself and not be extremely tired. So just trust me when I say that it's actually even worse than your typical MOBA game. There's a bit of a pyramid scheme going on in it, too. Because it's like, the whole idea is you are encouraged to spend money, real money, in order to buy the currency, which then puts you in a position to want to encourage other people to spend real money on currency, which they will then give to you. And so forth and so on, and it just kind of branches out. Excuse me.
Ishnuala.
Will be able to find my belongings.
Go in peace.
I thank you, Night Elf. Our tribe might not have survived without your aid. There's but one way to win the trust and loyalty of the Magrum. It must be beaten out of them. They have suffered many losses in their war against my clan. They now possess an unfamiliar land where they struggle just to feed themselves. Now is the time to strike. Okay. Do we have to... okay, this is a new experience. Hey, look, he suddenly got the new model. That's kind of strange. No, never mind. It's just a different one. I'm wrong. Ignore me. Yeah, it's kind of a Ponzi scheme. It is really messed up. It's a giant cesspit. That's what Roblox really is. There's probably some good stuff on there. I don't actually know, to be quite honest with you. I've never found anything good in Roblox, and I have done my due diligence on that. All I have found is a morass of scams, of people who are trying to rip money out of other people, trying to get unpaid work done, tons of porn, a lot of porn. There's a lot of, like, obviously just straight up copyright infringement stuff, the kind of stuff that even I would agree that, yeah, no, you're just straight up robbing another game at this point. Like, and when I say copyright stuff, I mean, like, imagine you wander into Roblox, and what you find, whoop, there we go. What you find is literally Mega Man 3, right? A bad example, but you get the idea. Like, it's not your take on Mega Man 3. It's not a fan version like Final Fantasy Renaissance, right? It's just Mega Man 3. It's just right there. Boom, done. Oh yeah, there's also gang stuff. I meant to mention that. As in, like, real-life criminal games, to be extremely clear about my terminology here. A lot of recruitment stuff goes on in Roblox for a lot of things that are dark. So Roblox is kind of a cancerous thing. Sorry, this has turned into a bit of a discussion of Roblox. I apologize, but good lord. You can see how it developed naturally from the idea of doing your due diligence. Because I guarantee you that a parent who doesn't have time, like her father, probably has no idea about any of the crap I just told you about. My niece does, though. Why is it you meddle in Centaur affairs? Because I want your shoulder pads. He listens as you explain the demonic threat and the visions. No one need lecture us about the demons. It is they who drove our clan from our ancestral lands. It is they who forced us to take over the wastelands where we struggle just to exist. The war with the coal cart took a heavy toll on my people. Well, a few of us remain are weary and hungry. Bring us food, and we will discuss the demons. Actually, yeah, to be quite honest, Savacom. You know what game my niece most wants for Christmas? Can't even guess. You probably can't, but it's in the line of me being proud of her. She actually already does kind of have that. She's played it with me, even. Victoria was the closest so far. Yeah, she's already played Dragon Quest Builders with me, so it's... Ah! Doesn't quite count. FF16, hell yeah, brother. No, I'll just tell you, it's City Skylines 2. She's a builder at heart. She loves building games. She always has, ever since she first started playing video games. No, she likes grids, Savacom. She is approaching her teens, verdictum. And yeah, she technically has 2 copies of Stardew Valley. Because she's played on PC and on the Switch. And of course she plays the hell out of Minecraft. She loves to build things. She's really good at it. I have a picture of her when she was much younger. And she had... God, I'm trying to think how to explain this. So, it was a thing to learn how to knit, I think. No, she does not. And it's funny, she gets it from her mother. Imagine you've got like a plastic plate, but on the outer edges of it are these little spines going up, okay? And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use these rubber bands of different colors to make patterns and shapes in it, right? I'm sure there's a term for that. I don't know what the hell it is. Anyways, she had actually managed to make a full pattern, a rainbow with it, all by herself. And she was... I want to say like 4 or 5 when she did that, somewhere in that range. I still have that picture. Good morning, Uthor. Or whatever time it is, I don't even know. Nobody cares. Time is an illusion. I find it funny because I also really love builder games. Then again, I like most games, so that's not really saying much. But the reason I say that's funny is most people I know don't really like builder games. So I sort of uniquely have the position to be able to relate to her immediately and personally about the stuff she builds. Because I tend to like and play the games that she likes. Oh, for God's sakes, I'm on your side now. Stop trying to kill me. Stop failing at killing me. Stop dying. Okay, good job. Have you brought food for my clan, Night Elf? Very good. This will sustain us for now. It seems we have no choice, as reluctant as I am to cooperate with the coal car. There's wisdom in the words of their Khan. You may give him my word, we will lend our spears to the battle. Wow. How am I enjoying this game? Kata is definitely a mixed bag. There's been some ups, and then there's been some downs. For example, this zone kind of sucks. Oh my god, that is a perfect emote, Uthor. I love it. The Gelkis reside in southwest Desolace. They are just as stubborn as the Magrum, and since they have not suffered war and relocation, they are considerably stronger. Humbling the Geltis will require an extreme show of force. Khan Shoto and his 3 sons rule the clan. Shoto is aging and suffers from war wounds. He never leaves his cave. So, you want me to kill his sons to persuade him to join you? I just want to be clear. You want me to kill his sons to persuade him to join you. That's literally what we're doing. Okay. Okay. Utho 3, no fun. Wow.
Greetings, traveler.
It pleases me to see you still draw breath. Thanks. I've been sent word that demon activity in the south has been intensifying. Could you lend them a hand? I will help the demons. No, that's not what I meant. No, wait! Well, the problem is, we had some really good zones back to back. Like Alliance Ashenvale, and then Stone Talon was pretty solid. And then South Barrens was really solid. I think, in fact, let me double check the list here. But I'm fairly certain that South Barrens is on this list somewhere. There it is. Yeah, South Barrens is one of the highest rating zones we've covered so far. And for good reason. It's a really solid zone. But then we had to do Dust Wallow while I was sick. So, enough said on that point. And now we're doing Desolace. And honestly, that's part of the problem. And that's Cataclysm, Kalimdor in a nutshell, is some of these zones just aren't that great. I love Christmas. I can't wait for it. When's Christmas again? I mean, I'll be streaming. If I could share something that amused me a great deal. So, I gave my step-parents? Parents-in-law? Whatever. I gave... Alright, they want me to call them the other parents. Yes. Did you not know that? Just know? No, I mean, this isn't as bad as Desolace and Vanilla, but this is still not great. Anyways, the other parents got me a Christmas present. I was like, oh, that's sweet. I had just gotten them a Christmas present. I gave them some really nice dark chocolate, because I know both of them really like dark chocolate. And so, yeah, I gave them like a variety pack of dark chocolate. Cool. They gave me back, it arrived yesterday, an Amazon gift card. Which I haven't checked the amount on it yet, but it's probably going to be about the same amount that I just spent on the chocolate I got them. And so I can't help but feel like maybe we should just skip that entire thing. I'm not actually mad. It's funny. But, you know. Let's go and turn this in first.
Great to meet you. Safe travel.
Demons. Oh, there's lots I can tell you about demons.
Watch your back. Off with you.
Listen up now, here, laddie. Looky here. You see them big green glowing balls that be falling from the sky? There'll be a nasty bunch of demons roaming the land unchecked. Well, almost unchecked. I've been keeping them on their toes, giving them something to think about.
See you soon.
So here it is, the Hand of Iroxx. Got it from one of them burning blade eaters myself. Powerful thing. Use it on the demon portals and they just disappear. The demons keep coming at this rate, the camp will get overrun. So, go on, get to it.
Safe travels.
Sure thing. It's okay, I appreciate you, Yura. I admittedly like Christmas, but for several very selfish reasons. Reason number one, it's a great excuse to give things to people and they can't complain about it. It's like, here, have a gift. And they're like, but, and I'm like, no, it's Christmas, it's a rule. Damn it, he's right. You recognize this as the essence of a summoned demon. Dangerous and rarely understood energies weave in and out of its substance. As you gaze upon it, a vision fills your mind. The image of controlling demonic minions. A rush of excitement fills you as you imagine wielding such power. Looking at your surroundings, you wonder how this treasure might be used against your enemy. Hi, Ars Bruce. How long have I been muted? Because from my perspective, I've been talking basically nonsense. When did I mute? How did I mute? Alright, what was the last thing you heard? You recognize the essence of... Yeah, that's the quest I'm already on. Game. There we go. read the Demon Core quest. I said hi to Arspruce. I was explaining the other 4 reasons why I like Christmas. God, I gotta remember. Okay, so reason number 2 was because... Wait, did I already tell you the first reason? Well, let's just cover them again. First reason, I can give gifts regardless of people. They can't be like, wow, no, don't give me gifts. No. So people can't prevent me from giving them gifts. Yay. Reason number 2. I like cold. And snow. But mostly cold. Reason number 3. Around Christmas, we tend to get most of the more, like, minty, pepperminty kind of flavored stuff at restaurants and in grocery stores. So, you know, I tend to like that. Gotta love a good mint. Not everyone loves mint, of course. I've noticed that. Mint is one of those love or hate kind of things. But then... no, I guess that's actually it. Oh, no. That was right. There was one more. The 4th reason that I like Christmassy time is I like the decorations. Mostly the lights. I like going around and just seeing what kind of decorations people have set up. It's usually in the houses, but still. Oh, man. Peppermint bark. That's some good stuff. I'm so sorry, Ross. Tell me how much they hate early... Flynn. Eugene, whatever his name is. Peppermint bark. The person that would kill my throat right about now, but I still want it. Nice. As it should be. I actually agree with you completely, Leader Fairy. The problem with Christmas is other people. Damn you other people, stop ruining everything. Hashtag other people. Could you stop knockbacking me, please? Really, Ross? So you didn't tell me this friend of yours was pure evil. Interesting. I will send the assassins immediately. Listen, Mr. Ed, you need a new vacuum, okay? Now, this new 50 sucker 5000, this thing sucks in ways that nothing else has ever sucked. This is the suckiest vacuum we have ever produced. I'm willing to let it go for only $59.99, $99.99. Don't sleep on this deal. Yep, these knives will stay sharp for 20 years.
What can I do for you? See you soon.
At last, don't hesitate to knock a few more over for good measure.
Watch your back.
Ah, that'll buy us some time. Ooh, we'll grab that.
Off with you.
I'm too busy collecting artifacts to do such else here, but there's an issue I wouldn't mind sorting out. There's a forsaken apothecary who's been poking around these parts. Normally I'd ignore him, but 3 times now he's stuck in my camp and pilfered me supplies. What?
Watch your back.
Time to kill that guy.
What's happening? Safe travels.
It was a rock lobstrock.
Watch your back.
Being honest, I remember the Tangled show more than I do the Tangled movie at this point. I blame Ross for that. Well, I mean, obviously, I watched the Tangled show like a couple months ago at this point, so it's a little bit more recently in my memory. But also, the Tangled show made more of an impact on me. And the movie's fine, and also contains probably the single best Disney villain ever made. However, it just doesn't quite hold up to the level of the show. It's just not as good. That too, the show has more of a footprint than the movie. As most shows do. I mean, the show does have better animation. The show has such good animation that I would consider it to be the equal of MLP. And if you don't understand what kind of a statement that is, don't worry about it. But if you do, you know how much of a praise that is. Anything to keep you limber, Blue Fusion Volt. You know, jumping jacks, light jogging. Swimming would work as well, actually, if you had the availability, which you probably don't. But I'm mentioning it for the sake of completion. Arcane is one of those outlier shows. Even though I hated the ending, and I did. No, I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm not going to spoil something like that on this. Are you kidding me? Would push-ups help? Push-ups shouldn't do anything for your lower back, no. Push-ups should help your... well, okay. Hang on. Walk that back. There's a lot of different types of push-ups, but almost all the push-ups are going to be affecting one part or another of your arms, your shoulders, your upper chest, or your lower chest. None of that's got anything to do with your lower back. You can do push-ups. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that's not going to help that. Exercise in general is a good thing, though, because it burns necessary calories in a way that your body will find healthy. So if it's a question between do nothing or do push-ups, do push-ups. No, Luke? I don't know what you're on about there, but no, I have not seen season 2. I think there were a couple of times where Rapunzel was a bit too stupid for me. But it was such a rare occurrence that it was a non-issue, essentially. Unlike Eugene. Anyways, back to Arcane for a second. So how would I put Arcane in the ranking of animation? Like I said, Arcane is kind of an outlier, just like Andor was. It is crazy good on several levels. There's just, whether you like it or not, it is an incredibly high quality show. Excuse me. And it's certainly a huge portion of that is the animation. It's hard to directly compare 3D animation with 2D animation because the concepts and precepts there are so fundamentally different. As anybody who's ever done animation will tell you. But if you put a gun to my head, I would go ahead and say that, yeah, obviously, Arcane is one of the best animated shows I've ever seen. I've actually seen quite a few 3D animated shows over the years, especially because that's becoming something of a new norm for kids shows. And so I would say Arcane is probably the best 3D animated show I've ever seen. It's certainly in the running, if not at the top.
Talk to me. See you soon.
Were you able to collect some lobster tails, Night Elf? Well, yeah, of course I was.
Watch your back.
It was a rock lobster.
How are ya? See you soon.
Oh, this is odd. It's a hollow Kodohon with a potion inside. Ugh. Definitely not any kind of healthy elixir. This mess is meant for one thing. Kill him. How about you run it back to Carnum, see if you can do anything with it.
Safe travels.
Thank you, Dr. Winter. As always. I'd have to put thought into that, Loke. And I've got nothing off the top of my head, admittedly. I suppose I should mention late Clone Wars, because late Clone Wars has very good 3D animation. Not at the level of Arcane, but it's at least in the consideration for like top 10 range, I would say. Darkest Dungeon, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and Evil Genius 2. You got it, Dr. Winter. Thank you again. Good news is we're almost done with Desolace.
I've been expecting you.
Yes, Druid. Not only do I know what this is, I know how you should use it.
Ancestors.
This is a disease that kills almost instantly and in a violent manner. Loath as I am to employ such devices, I fear we have no choice here. As you know, the Naga remain a serious threat to the region. The time has come for us to drive them back.
We shall meet again.
Let us drive them back. Rebels is weird, because I wasn't sure about this on, like, off the top of my head. But when I went back and re-examined, I found that Clone Wars overall just had better animation quality than Rebels. It was just kind of weird, honestly. Again, I do have to qualify late Clone Wars, because early Clone Wars is some dreck. Like, amateur hour dreck. You do get a lot of guns, Dr. Winter, but hang on, let me finish this really quick. Gotta kill the sea giants, very important. The giant canceled. No. No, you cannot shoot there. Yeah, I don't know if it had a smaller budget or not, but it would not surprise me. Of course there are Europe, but there's only one I will ever refer to as the Clone Wars. The other one I always add the proviso of Gennedy's Clone Wars. So, if I could choose where I would... hang on. If I could choose, would I have preferred an excellent Warcraft 2 over WoW? No. WoW has had many, many issues over many, many years, and certainly has been causing me a lot of headaches over the last few weeks. But WoW at its best has not only just been, has been literally been my home, and was there for me when I was in a wheelchair, and is how I met a fairly large number of my friends, and is how I met my sister. But it's also a really, really, really good, very enjoyable long-term game that I still enjoy replaying to this day. I'll take WoW.
What brings you here?
Even while doing something like Desolace, which isn't exactly that great. I still stand by it. God damn it, I love that. The second I dashed, I got dazed. Of course. You know the rule. They're all dead. I know that's a bit selfish, because I actually know people who wish there had never been a WoW, and instead we'd gotten Warcraft 4. I've had some people tell me that during this very run, actually. But I can't, in personal interest, I can't pick anything else. Hey, off the deeper end. I mean, I'm not joking when I say that I was in a wheelchair and WoW was kind of what I did. There was actually two things I did. This is not a joke. I think I've mentioned this before. When I was at my worst in the wheelchair, when I was barely capable of doing anything, when I had to have a nice little stand in the shower, be able to shower myself every day, and I had to stick my foot outside of the bathtub. And I was completely reliant on other people essentially bringing me food. Oh, and I'd just been fired because I was no longer capable of doing my job. So thanks for that, Arby's. So I wasn't doing great, is the point. I'm not trying to drum up sympathy. It's just I wasn't in a great spot. So what I would do is I would squat myself in my wheelchair at my desk, and I would play WoW, and I would watch Lord of the Rings, Extended Edition, of course. And that was my life for a few weeks there. Maybe months, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how long that period of time really was. So, we killed the guy's sons to convince him. He stares at us with an empty gaze as we detail the demon threat. It matters not to me what becomes of this land now. I have failed my clan and my forefathers. There's but one thing left in this world that brings hope to my old soul, and she's likely dead as well. My precious daughter was taken from me by the Maradine. If you can bring her back alive, I will consider your proposal. Ah, the Maradine. By the way, if anybody would like to join me, we are very close to doing Maradon. And I would like to do that legit, so we can continue to test how the scaling's been going. I should also probably mention that Maradon is basically 2.5 dungeons. Don't worry, I know where I'm going. No, I was a manager. I was a shift manager, whatever it's actually called. We had to kill his sons. Okay, look, we had to murder innocent people for no reason. Most obscure, unknown game that you'd have loved to get a sequel. Earthbound. No. It's probably fine if nobody can join me for this. See, the problem is I'm not sure I know any obscure games anymore. Every game I know is just slowly drifted into not obscure anymore. You've discovered the location of Khan Shoto's daughter. She's being held behind the doors to Moradin. The rescue attempt is certain to be risky, but if you seek the Gelkis' cooperation, you must free the daughter. You know what? Ghost Trick is a good pick. I might stick with that. Well, that's what I said, Relictum. There's no such thing as an esoteric game anymore. It doesn't, that we might as well just remove that from the equation, right? There's no such thing as an obscure, unknown game anymore. If there is, it's something that nobody would have ever heard of. That's sort of the point. Yeah. You know what? Here, you know what? Sure. Hang on. You want an obscure game? I'll give you an obscure game. I gotta look up its name because I don't remember it because it's obscure, but give me a second. Sorry. Alright, let's see. Ah, it's not in this one. Damn. Well, whatever. I'll pick Urban Yeti, because no one's ever heard of that. Or Virtual Hydlide. Actually, people have probably heard of that one. Anyways, yeah, so moving on. So let's rewind the question here. So what's a game that is, let's call it a standalone, that I'd like to see a sequel to? Let's define it as that instead, okay? So in other words, something, so I can't pick Mega Man, even though Mega Man's a dead franchise. It's had plenty of sequels, right? I also couldn't pick the Legacy of Kain series getting a proper sequel and conclusion because, again, they had several. They just got a remaster.
Go! Go!
I came up to the Valley of Spears to talk to the Maradines. Thought I could do business with them. But they don't want to talk. They want to eat me. Get me out of here. My big brother will pay you.
Move it!
Yeah, all right, let's go. Aha, Blade of All. So, let's see. Actually, it's funny you say that, Lord Harriman, because one of the first games that occurred to me was Into the Breach. The problem is, I'm not sure I want a sequel to Into the Breach. Like, what do you do to develop Into the Breach, right? Final Fantasy Tactics has 2 sequels. Yeah, exactly, Takoti. It would have to be a development, and at that point it might as well not even be a sequel, so Let's see. Mystic Quest. This is pulling it technically, but Mystic Quest got World of Final Fantasy. Also, you want a Mystic Quest 2. Secret of Evermore. Now that's a standalone. I'll give you that one. Where do you go with that, though? How do you fix the terrible magic system? That's really, really bad. I mean, we were talking about how, I think it was Paper Mario 1, is kind of a Mystic Quest 2. Or a Mystic Quest proper, however you want to think of that. Cyberpunk is a standalone, I'll give you that. Feels like cheating to pick a big game like that, but eh. I have not beaten Evermore, I'll admit it. First time I ever saw the ending of Evermore was a speedrunner. What else? Super Mario RPG. Ride to Hell. Jade Empire. Now there's a game that I know several people wanted a sequel of and is never happening. That ship has long since sailed. No, it's called Ride to Heaven. Oh yeah, there's one for you. Bully. Oh no, yes, Swim to Heaven. I like it, Swim to Heaven. Bully was such a weird game. And extremely broken. I mean, it's never happening. They're never doing Bully 2. They've walked away from that so hard. That's true. You know what, Lord Hermont? I'll agree with that. That actually does sound familiar, Loke. But in the vaguest sense, I'm going to be honest. Like, it's not... I couldn't give you a name or anything like that. Yes, you do need to be time walking for Kata. You will not gain an experience, because I'm experience locked.
Time is money, friend! Glad I could help!
Vagrant Story. See, what I'm trying to think of... I'm trying to think of a game that I feel was almost good, but wasn't actually good, but was still interesting enough that I would want to see it done better. That's like in my head what I'd want for this kind of a setup. This kind of a question. And it's really funny you say that, Lord Hermont, because I was actually building up to that. Spore. I want Spore 2. I want a Spore that's actually really solid. Yeah, no, I was probably being a bit obvious there. I think that's my answer, Doctor. It's not esoteric at all. It's not obscure at all, but I don't care. It is a standalone. Very much so. Interestingly enough, though, Evo 2 would also be a fascinating pick. I can't disagree with you on that, Late Bladefall, so I'd be cool with either of those. I've got a third one. This might actually be an obscure game. Robo-Trek. Now, just because I'm curious, can anyone in chat even tell me what Robo-Trek is? I agree with the words of the Kulkrikon. The time for ancient grudges is over. It is a shame it has taken demonic crisis to unite the tribes. I shall return to my father and convince him to join your cause. You have my word. He will comply. Return to Khan Lepra. Inform him the Gelkas will be ready when called upon. Okay. Okay, cool. So, it's an esoteric SNES RPG by Enix. Not Square Enix, just Enix when they were still doing their own things. It's... God. So, combat is... Every combat area, it's a big old grid, but the grid isn't visible, it's just there. And so positioning is actually hugely important. And all of your attacks... Why do I not have that there? All of your attacks specifically hit like different areas or ranges or whatever. So like this attack will hit these two squares in front of you, like this. Or this attack will hit a line in front of you. You get the idea. Your combatant is your robots. You have up to 3. They cost a tremendous amount of resources to get additional robots. So generally you tend to have just one robot for a huge portion of the game. And you get all these parts, which you then use to customize that robot. You can also craft parts by combining parts in ways that, for the most part, make sense. You know, you get a few upgrade gears, you put them onto a gun 1, you get a gun 2. But if you get something like, say, a laser beam, and you combine that with a gun, you get a line gun, right? That gives you a line attack, stuff like that. And all of this probably sounds really cool. Problem is, the game I'm describing is absolute garbage. It's Lamentation territory. It's really, really bad. But it's got a lot of really interesting concepts that I would love to see fleshed out. You have done well, and not a moment too soon. For untold generations, the Centaur clans have fought one another, but no more. Because of your deeds, we stand here together fighting a common foe. We shall win our ancestral lands back from these demons, or we die as brothers. What of you? You've earned the right to fight alongside us. Will you take up the spear? Damn right, well, let's go! They're like... There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. So, this is actually kind of neat. This is yet another of the cataquests that feels like it's dipping its toes into RTS mechanics. So we only have one attack, and that's our fling. But we can also order our troops around. We can order them to attack, to return, to heal. Yep, centaurs and demons. It's okay, we were able to talk with one of those groups, so... This is a fun quest to do in a group. Like, because all of us get a squad, so it's just this army of centaurs washing over this area. This might be one of the very, very few good quest chains in this whole zone. It is kind of a hyper beam moment, and it leads to another cool quest immediately after that. Absolutely, Lord Hermont. Same concept. Same concept. I don't think I've ever played Hogs of War. But then again, I haven't even played Gothic, so what the hell do I know? That's like one of the most well-known, unknown RPGs. Right there with Earthbound.
non-mainstream RPGs? I don't know what to call that. I wonder how centaurs swim. Oh my god, they actually have a swimming animation. I wonder if this is how horses swim. Can horses? Yeah, side stream games. There you go. Perfect. Well done. Let us finish this. Our goal is within sight. We can break the will of this demon army by bringing down the one who leads them. Lead a group of centaurs to the path south and find Agogradon. Let's do it. If I could pick a Total War game to be made, what period? Historical or... Okay, 440k. But, I mean, it's such an obvious choice. Of course I go with Warhammer 40k. A Brutal Legend. Which is actually vetoed for streaming. Because the only way we could ever stream Brutal Legend is by literally streaming it on mute. And I don't think anybody would really enjoy that. I have not heard of Flink. Sorry, Euro. No. It's the music is the problem, Sovicom. It's a game kind of centered around music. Like, the music's a part of the gameplay. But it's all licensed music. All of it is extraordinarily copy-wronged. Like, it might be one of the most copy-wronged games I've ever seen. So, no. Yeah, it's a game set in the land of metal, as in the music genre of metal. Total War. Yeah, exactly. Total War. Alright, time to kill the Demon Lord. Instantly. Alright, he's dead. It's literally a quest to just go to Farallaw's. That's actually it. So we're up to Maradon. If anybody wants to do that. We can put it off. We don't have to do it right now. And I could always just solo it. Put off time walking for a second. Not the end of the world. We here. Warwalkers. A Warcraft Total War. Yeah, no, the thing is, like, Warcraft, like every Blizzard RTS, is far more squad-focused than army-focused, right? I don't think that would be a particularly good mesh, personally. I mean, you could make it work. You could make anything work. But it wouldn't be my first pick, I guess is what I'm trying to say. No, it's fine, Mr. Ed. Let's put it off for now. Too many people unavailable. It's fine. We'll come back to Martin. I'll put a pin on that. I was thinking of Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings definitely kind of leans itself in that direction. And yes, I know we had a Lord of the Rings God of War already. I don't know how good it is. Jesus Christ, Pillars of Snow. Alright, I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to cut for lunch really early, but the goal is to come back relatively soon. However, I'm not going to promise that because I'm going to lay down, okay? And we'll see when I wake up, basically. So I'll see you guys in a bit.